You go live.
Yeah. You can see. Okay,
Let
now
me share.
it's live. Okay, now can you see here? You can see, right? In your your live. It's live
Uh,
now.
First
Can you
image,
see that?
right? It's first
Yeah, it's
image,
live.
right? Hang on,
Yeah,
huh?
hi
Now,
everyone.
do we have
Welcome.
people in already?
Yes. Okay, let's share out.
Okay, I have this in my hand, my Facebook. What I'm going to do first, I will share, right? I will
Yeah.
share to myself, right?
Okay.
We are now on live. I will just put
Uh,
that. And okay, when I shared my own
yeah.
page, Jacqueline,
Okay.
if Jacqueline can also share it, and my
Yeah.
guest share it in such a way, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
Okay. Sure.
Good morning to people in America, maybe Europe, and to Malaysians and most part of Asia. Good evening. Most of you would know me as Josephine Louis. I am the image educator and principal of First Image Training. Now, we actually have rescheduled this live on for today instead of tomorrow. One of the reasons is because people say, Joe, I prefer to stay later on a Saturday night instead of a Sunday night. So, well, here you are. And for those who have pocket of time, thank you for coming into this live. And I am really glad that you have supported and motivated me throughout this pandemic time. You have given me pride to face this difficult time like everybody else out there. Yeah. Um, and for me, this is really a time for me to reinvent myself and a big test to my patience for doing a lot of things and achieving so much that I never believed I could do so. Yeah. Now, what are the things that I have achieved? Now, they may not come in monetary gains immediately. They could be connections, opportunities, knowledge, wisdom, things that I lay my hands on in the past 2 years that I never bothered to look at it, and doing things that is so unfamiliar to me. Yeah. I know even though they may not be immediate monetary gains, but I know it will come to me. So the same thing goes to you. If you have done a lot of things during this pandemic timing, continue. I know you will continue to do so because the effort that you have done is never wasted. Yeah. Uh, it is always never too late to even start right now. As I said, it's better to be late than never, right? So this is exactly why tonight I want to bring two guests so that they can share a little bit with us how we can pivot during this pandemic. I wouldn't even call season, right? And I would say there will be a time that when we look back, we will look back with a lot of fulfillment. We will look back in awe, and you might regret you could have done more. Now, these two ladies, I must say, I'm so glad they finally agreed to join me in a live, as I always believe we should always be working in a team. And one person can lead something, two-person can lead more people, and three will be even better, right? These two ladies gives me a lot of encouragement, even though I may not be talking to them. But the minute I see them in the virtual society, the kind of motivation that they give me, and it's like, I should do more. I should be like every inch of them. So that gives me a very good inspiration to be a better person in my profession and handling a lot of challenges, so to speak. Now, these two beautiful ladies, they are extremely inspiration in what they do best in their profession. Yeah, I'm going to bring them in right now. Oh, by the way, thank you very much, T, who is the facilitator for us tonight. Yeah. So, am I seeing Jacqueline? Now Jacqueline is on the bottom.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, just
See the three faces together. Oh, thank you very much, T. Right. Oops. Jacqueline Whitmore is on my right hand side, and I have Susan on my left hand side. Right now, Jacqueline is a global etiquette expert, and Susan is a personal image strategist. Wow, I really love the name. Now, Jacqueline, we know for a long time, for more than 10 years, right? And for Susan, wow, my students and my graduates, they are swoon to you, Susan. So I'm going to let these two ladies introduce themselves to our viewers.
Jackie, you go first.
Hi, Joe. Nice to see you. Hello, everybody. I'm so honored to be with you today. I'm honored to be part of your show, and I love doing interviews with my BFF, Susan Bigsby. I am an international etiquette expert, and I'm based in Central Florida near Orlando, and I have been in business approximately 24 years. I founded a company called the Protocol School of Palm Beach, and I travel all over the globe helping men and women polish their professionalism. And what I mean by that is I simply teach soft skills, people skills, topics including business protocol, cell phone etiquette, dining etiquette, personal branding, presentation skills, and any essential communication skills that one might need in order to excel in business. So that's what I do.
Susan.
Yes, I'm right here. Well, where do I start? I have been a professional image consultant for now 35 years, which
Wow.
is kind of, I can't be that old. I can't possibly be. But I've been, my job and my profession is to help people to look their best, and in a nutshell. And I help them to design and create their own best style based on their unique needs, lifestyle, whatever it is in their situation that that encourages them to look better, feel better, and become their best. I work a great deal with high-ranking professionals in the C level, if you will, the C-suite. But I work with people from all walks of life and have for the last 30 years. So it depends on one's situation, their profession, their personal needs, and their personal goals. And that's when they bring me in to help them to design their best look. So basically, I strategize what they need, how they need to do it, provide them with a recipe, and give them the tools to help them to be comfortable in their own best image. So,
So you see, our jobs are so inspirational, right? And we can do so much to be helping people, whether it's on the etiquette part, or the appearance, or the communications. Yes. Now, talk about what it can be quite a serious subject today, but we really need to hear from ladies all across the globe, especially for tonight. You know, we are educators and image consultants, image strategists in our own way. Can you tell me what matters most during this pandemic? I mean, 2020, it's a year we know is going to go down in history. That we cannot just be sitting there and doing nothing. Yeah. So, ladies, maybe Jacqueline, can you tell us what matters most to you during this pandemic?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for us to take care of ourselves. That's because if we don't have our health, we have nothing. And so, first and foremost, it's important to just acknowledge what we're going through. I mean, this is a global pandemic. And as I was telling someone the other day, for the first time in history, we are all on the same level in this industry. For example, Susan may have more experience as an image consultant than I do. I'm not professing to be an image consultant, I'm an etiquette expert. But basically, we are all on the same level and we are all starting over in a different way. So I believe that we have to embrace the situation. We have to acknowledge the situation. We also have to find ways to communicate with our clients that is different than we've ever communicated before. And that is primarily virtually. And I know Susan has embraced technology. I have embraced technology. It's not been easy. But if you're equipped with the right tools, and I know she and I have both invested in webcams and ring lights and microphones, and we've set up home studios.
Oh, tell me about it. I don't even have a headphone.
I mean, just this morning, I opened my front door and there was a package from Amazon.com. It was a new microphone. So I am constantly reinventing myself, and I'm also changing with the times. In other words, I'm not sitting back in a corner waiting for things to happen. I'm making things happen. So in order to thrive in any business, we have to make things happen and we have to move along with the times. But we also have to acknowledge that we are all in this pandemic, and we have to do the best we can with what we have to work with.
Right. I really love the way you say, we have to go with the changing time and reinventing ourselves. So that's very important, right? How about Susan?
So I have a lot to say about that too. Jackie and I actually, we shared this time together, and we worked a lot together, and we happened to be together. Probably at the
close. Susan, do you live close with?
We're about 3 hours apart, but Jackie used to live in where I live. So we've known each other now for at least 10 years. In fact, she was the inspiration for my website when she first started in her business. And, I'm so old at this that we didn't have websites back in the 90s. So anyway, that's another story. But we happened to be together during this time, and once we got over being shell-shocked and wondering if we were ever going to work again, because what I do is very tangible. And as image consultants, we are one-on-one with people. We're touching people. We're working one-on-one with it. It's very difficult to do it virtually, I have to say. Jackie's business is much less tangible, and that she can communicate more easily through her materials and her teaching products and the things that she does. She can coach more easily that way than we as image consultants can. But what I want to say is, because we were together during this time and we were trying to figure out the next step and how we were going to survive this door that slammed on all of us throughout the world, we were watching the media, and everyone was thrown into this situation from working from home and trying to present themselves virtually, and no one knew how to do it. No one, including us. But we were figuring it out along the way, and we said, no one knows how to do this. Their lighting was terrible. Their angle was terrible. They had no camera. They had no microphone. They had no nothing, and they looked terrible. So we immediately had the thought, we need to do a webinar about virtual presence. And we did it immediately. We got on it, and it launched the middle of May while we were together. Had we not been together, I don't know that it would have happened, because we collaborated so much together. Our ideas just flowed, as we do anyway. We work a great deal together. We think a lot alike. She's just better at technology than I am. But anyway, it was extremely well received. We had calls. We had people on our webinar from all over the world. And ever since then, my business hasn't stopped. I'm back to full speed again. And I think Jackie is as well.
Yes.
So
Now
it was I'm sorry, it was recognizing a need that was necessary at that time, at that very time. Timing was everything. And because of that, we were able to jump past that stagnant place that we were all in. So that's what happened. Taking advantage of the moment, I think, and seeing the idea.
And may I also add to that, Susan's making a great point. She's mentioning one of the 3 themes that I operate under, and it's the 3 C's. One is collaboration. During challenging times, we have to collaborate with one another. We cannot isolate ourselves. Otherwise, you're just going to just crawl in a hole and die. You might as well. And it's important, especially now that we're spending more time at home, especially in the beginning months, for us to reach out to people and say, hey, I want to do this webinar. Are you interested? I'd like to highlight your business. I'd like to help you. Will you help me? And in the process, when you help other people, it comes back to you. It's the law of reciprocity.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
I totally agree with Jacqueline. For Chinese, we always say what goes around comes around. So what you give out, it will gradually come back to you. So if you do kind, you beget kind. If you are generous in something, it will come back to you. Like I said, patience is one thing. You might not get things immediately, but you don't know, one day it will come back to you unexpectedly.
Yes, it does. It always does. May I add, I lost my thought there for a second, because, I've been doing this for so long, and I've always, and Jackie does too, we put out a newsletter to all of our clients. And back in the 90s, it used to be a printed piece that looked like a magazine. It was a fortune to do 4 times a year. Now I do it monthly. Jackie does it monthly. I'm sorry, I'm a frog. It keeps us in touch with our clients. I have now 2,000 people on my mailing list, just my email list. And it's very, very popular. But because of those relationships that I've maintained and stayed in touch with all these years, we had such a great response on that webinar. I heard from people, and people watched that webinar I haven't seen in 20 years. But they follow you when you stay in touch and you keep it connected with those people. And I think it's really important for those of us in our business, not only to do videos and not only to do social media, but to stay in touch personally, so that they can follow you. They know what you're doing, and they're thinking of you. You're thinking of them. So it's the relationships that matter so very much. In fact, I'll give you this example. During this pandemic, I think it's been an amazing time for us to sit back, do the tasks, the creative tasks in our business that we wouldn't ordinarily have time to do. Jackie's completely revamping her website from scratch, brand new. And that takes an enormous amount of time to do that. But we can't do it when we have a full schedule of clients that we're dealing with. So it's been a really wonderful time, I think, for us, and because we're in connection all the time, to sit back and think about, what do we need to do? How do we need to amp up? What tools do we need to do that, and how best to move forward and take this time to reinvent? Because, as you said, Joe, we'll never be the same again. We have to do business differently.
Right.
And one more thing, out of these clients. Sorry to go on. All these things are happening.
Please,
out of this business, one of those clients who I've been taking care of for the last 10 years has been brought into a business that also was kind of invented during this time. It was established, but not on the level that they wanted to be. So now I'm being brought in as the image expert for this, and it's an athletic project organization that's philanthropic. It's a national company, and I'll be their primary image consultant. But it's because of those relationships and because of people thinking ahead and thinking forward and how to make business more profitable.
Well, and you also mentioned a good point, Susan, about staying in touch with people. Our number one marketing tool, besides our website, is our newsletter. Susan and I have been writing newsletters now for oh gosh, I know I've been doing mine for at least 15 years. She's probably been doing hers a lot longer. And when people hear from you and they see you regularly, they will remember you. You're top of mind. But if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And Susan and I knew back in April, we talked about this. We said, everybody is sitting at home right now. Everybody's just sitting at home. So how do we capture this audience and communicate with them? And that's when we did this webinar on virtual presence. Then I started doing Facebook Live interviews, which I've been doing on a weekly basis. Joe, I had you on as one of my first guests.
One of the earlier ones, yes.
And people had never seen me on video before, ever. And I have a broadcasting degree. And I guess they could have gone to my YouTube page, but who's going to take the time to do that? But now we have taken this opportunity. We've seized the opportunity to capture this audience.
Yes. And just Jacqueline, just to add on about when you first started doing your live, I recall, I think in the month of third week or end of March, you got me in as a guest. And that was the time, exactly like what Susan told me. I don't even know which button to press for me to be online with you. I was so panicked, And there goes now, people have been inviting me, and now it's time for me to invite others. Mm-hmm. It's like, of course, I have a good assistant, but you see, I do it. Right. Mm-hmm. And based on what Susan and Jacqueline said, I have this really, both you ladies have really nipped into the bone, which is the getting in touch with our clients. I would like to say, number one, relationships are not built yesterday. No. Relationships are built over the years, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore, in whatever job that we have, we should always keep good relationship with our clients. And some clients has become friends because they are your salesmen at the end of the day. Yes. They actually bring you a lot of good clients. I know now it's digital and all of us have more presence, TikTok and all this. Somebody was telling me that I should be doing TikTok. It's like, I don't think I could be that funny, And so the virtual presence is, I always tell people like your post, but that doesn't mean they like you. It's the post that they like. So what kind of relationship have you actually built? And it's really not overnight. That's very important. And number two, like what Jacqueline says, every fortnight, every week. So it's the persistence that you continue doing your job. One day we are always tired. Sometimes I get very tired doing something that I don't get response because I keep telling myself, why do I do this? I spend so much time, so much effort, and I don't get a response. But the response won't come back to you today. And if you are persistent, people can see that you are someone who is, you give the motivation and inspiration to others. Why people buy you? They buy you because you are valuable. They buy you because you are worthy of it. So we cannot just break, we have to be consistent. And the last part is really our experience and our exposure. Susan is 30 over years. I mean, the minute you look at Susan, it's like from head to toe, so prim and proper. When you walk out, people will want to know, what does she do? Who is she? Is she somebody? I'm not saying you're a goddess. I'm not saying you're a celebrity. But the minute we look at you, we know you prep yourself as the professional image strategist. If I want to look better, who should I contact? You are somebody, right? So it's the experience. I see a lot of new image consultants today. Your head cannot just swell because you have a certificate. To me, your title or your certificate, your papers doesn't mean a thing. Who you are is your integrity. So your integrity comes with the people that you know, you have built a relationship, how persistent you are, and what kind of experience are you competent in your work. Therefore, you know, when I was graduated in 2008, I always tell my students, I spent 5 years non-stop learning from other big gurus. Liz Parson, you know, Carla Martis, whoever I get hold of, I pay and learn, because the best thing to invest is ourselves.
That's right.
My dad always tell me, remember Jacqueline, I was in Washington 2015. In Washington, I attended Jacqueline Whitmore's dining etiquette. So she bring me out for a dinner and I got my certificate. So I took every advantage, every opportunity that I seized with good people. I learned from them, because that's our investment. So
may I also add to that, Joe? Yes, you're the consummate student. You're always learning, and that's what makes you so good at what you do. And this is the best time right now for all of us to take an online course. If someone likes what you do, they should hire you for an hour or 2 hours and consult with you and say, can you help me do this? This is a great time. I think it's a growth time for all of us.
It is.
In fact, I just enrolled this week in 2 Instagram classes from Udemy. Udemy.com offers these fabulous, inexpensive online classes, and they're on demand. And you don't have to be there at a certain time. You just download them and watch them in the comfort of your own home. And more and more of these courses are popping up for people like us who love to learn.
Right. And Susan, are you launching your virtual presence training again? Because when I look at both your windows and the window in the middle, I know where I stand. I better learn this virtual training. You guys were looking so bright. So if you relaunch, do tell me. And I'm sure our viewers, now that they have to learn how to start reinventing themselves, have more virtual presence, that is the seminar that we should attend from someone who do it so well. Susan.
Thank you. But we both have that webinar on our websites. It is for purchase. We both do.
Okay.
And I also did one for the legal community. So as a result of that, I was invited by the legal world to do one for lawyers and judges. So I have done that as well. I have a lot of lawyer clients who really needed the information because they're doing trials online, in Zoom conferences. But what I want to say about this is image consulting is not easy. It is extremely complicated. I've been sewing and designing and dressing people my entire life since I was 10 years old. I learned every facet of makeup artistry, every facet. I'm a master seamstress. So all of that knowledge was a lifetime of knowledge. And then I took all the courses and then I was a music major on top of that, but in school. But all my roommates were fashion design majors, so they were paying me to do their homework. And I was dressing my voice teacher at the same time. So, it all evolved, and I started my professional career with Estee Lauder. But nonetheless, it's all of those years and all of that experience that come together in a career that teach you how to be the professional that we are today. And it's learning from, as you said, Joe, it's learning from every possible source that you can be the best of you can be, and soaking it in like a sponge. But the most important thing, once I think as an image consultant, Jackie and I have talked about this a lot, it's not about what you know, it's about how to read people. And you have to, as an image consultant, you have to read people instantly or they don't trust you, because 99% of what we do is about trust. So, once you're in people's closets, you have to be trusted. So Jackie teaches them how to act and I teach them how to look.
That was kind of my second question. I actually wanted to ask both you ladies, but now that Susan has revealed, what were her recent projects that she did to reinvent your brand or yourself? What about Jacqueline? Is there something new that's coming in in your, I remember I hear something about child etiquette or.
Yes. So I figured out everybody's sitting at home with their kids, and I saw more and more of my friends homeschooling their kids, and I decided that parents need to learn how to teach their children etiquette. I mean, it's one thing to call in an etiquette consultant to teach your kids, but really it starts at home. So since we all have had more time at home and we're all sitting at home with their kids, I put together a children's etiquette program for parents and homeschoolers and teachers and librarians, anybody who teaches a child, so that they could teach children's etiquette in the comfort of their own home. And it's for young kids, ages 4 to 8. And it's a downloadable product. You don't need my assistance on it. It's already been done for you. I put together the workbook and the PowerPoint slides. I put together an introductory webinar video, and the person gets a certificate of completion. This is for adults. This is for adults who want to teach children at home. So I put that together. That's one thing, and that's ready to go. Now I need time to promote it. Second thing I did is I started doing more online videos. I started doing Facebook Lives. This is not a money maker for me in any way, shape, or form. However, it does bring the exposure, and the marketing is important in order to grow our business. So I think organically, as time goes on, it will eventually benefit me.
Right.
I'm also working on a new website. I just finished all new rebranding. I had hired someone to redo my logo and my colors. Next week, Susan's coming to Orlando to be with me, to be my stylist. And I am doing all new photographs for my website. So, I mean, I have so many projects right now. I have so little time at the moment. And eventually it will bring business. And that's what we have to remember, that all these things are planting seeds, and the seeds will eventually grow.
I really like this. This is one very good example of collaboration. You know, collaboration could mean anybody. It may not just be image consultants, right? So this is one way that we have to work. And I would also like to add on the big word of collaboration. It takes a lot of encouragement. It takes a lot of respect of both parties. It has to be some synergy that two people work together, and you will see, you know, the fire amongst both of you, and produce results, of course. And two things that I like about what Jacqueline said was something just fell off now. You hire photographers and you hire videographers. I do believe that as well. During the lockdown period in Malaysia, of course, we can't go out, right? And we want to do a lot of video. I'm using every corner of my house, you know, to do videos. I'm very glad I have some good friends who actually will do video editing. You know, video editing is a massive thing that I wouldn't even want to touch it. So you need to leave it to the professionals, yeah? So I do pay. We pay people to do editing where, you know, you can just send it over a V transfer or whatever. But it's what Jacqueline and me did. We actually pay people to do something. And if we don't pay people, the economy doesn't move. You get what I mean? Right. Big or small, we have to start contributing. This is what I felt. You know, you can contribute, be large or small, but once you get the thing going, it moves. So I think that's a very important point.
Jo, may I also add to that? Sure. Speaking of videos, I am doing instructional videos. I'm doing more of the 2 to 3 minute etiquette how-to videos. And like you said, I found a woman who does the editing. So what I do is I bought a tripod, part of my
Oh, that's
arsenal. I have a tripod, and I put my iPhone in the tripod, and I record these videos, and then I send them to a girlfriend who is an editor, and she polishes them up and adds music and graphics, and then she sends them back to me, and then I upload them on YouTube, and it's great. It's a project that I would have never had time to do had this pandemic not affected us. And Susan has been doing these incredible interviews called Meet the Designer, which she can tell you a little bit about, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Meet the Designer.
I just haven't done enough. But fortunately I live in the Palm Beach area of Florida, which brings us many incredibly international talented people. So I have several designer friends. The problem is getting everybody together to do this. So that is the problem. But anyway. So one of the things, thank you for that, for Jackie. But one of the artists that I'm working with now, and this is another born from this pandemic idea, I've become friendly with an artist and designer who lives and works from the south of France. And she comes here seasonally, and I met her through my association with the symphony. And I really was drawn to her as an image consultant. Obviously, we do color analysis for our clients. Most of us do anyway. So her designs and her paintings, which she's transferred into clothing and scarves and that kind of thing, were so gorgeous. And I was using them and referring them to my clients for their own color palettes because they are gorgeous. And so as a result of this pandemic, nobody's buying scarves. Nobody's, really doing any of that right now. But so she's now putting those designs into masks, which I am now promoting on my website too, because we're going to be wearing masks for a while. There is no getting around that. I think that's going to be a part of our culture, at least for the next year. So why not wear a piece of art on your face that complements your coloring? So I've just now incorporated that into my business, and also to support her because they're gorgeous and everyone should be wearing. They're very reasonably priced.
Right.
So another idea that was born out of this time that we're in. So
I hear what Susan says is really ideas. To me, you can call us self-employed. You can call us, business owner. Definitely, we are not entrepreneurs, which is huge, right? I felt in any business, one of the very key element in order to make a business continue and stay alive and expand is really the creativity. The creativity, correct. It's like, again, the reinvention, but I like the word creativity. Like, you could have done something that nobody does it. The minute you are out the ring, it's like, it's you are an inventor, right? It's so innovative. Why not? If it's just image consultants, we can do a lot of things. I love to do a lot of public programs. This year, I had this 5 public programs that I scheduled from March to September, but everything went down the drain. But it was something so innovative. I thought that's okay because, like I said, something different come to me. Things are uncertain and expect the unexpected. And like what Jacqueline say, we have to acknowledge, we have to embrace. Yeah. So actually, there were quite a number of questions that I would like you ladies to tell us about where and what other opportunities and when's the best time. I suppose just now we were so excited. Everything was almost wrapped up already. But something that I'd like you ladies to share with the viewers are, all of us come a long way. All of us have some difficulties in our time, somewhat or rather. Yeah, I'm sure. I do have my dark days. I'm sure you guys have your dark days. Now, when you have your dark days, can you give us 2 pertinent advice? How did you go through the difficult time and emerge as strong as you are today, as happy as you are today? Who would like to start first?
I can start. Well,
Right.
both of us went through personal loss and tragedy, and that we both had divorces, and that was very traumatic for both of us. Mine was 10 years ago, and Jackie's 5 or 6 or 7. But also, this is what image consultants need to know. Several years ago, I addressed the AICI, which is the Association of Image Consultants International, on a program called Profit or Loss. And I was one of the speakers. I took the big endeavor of manufacturing a clothing line in China. It was beautiful and sold incredibly well. Problem was, I didn't have enough backing. I didn't have enough knowledge. I was hoping to promote it to the image consultants all over the world. That didn't work out as well as I was hoping it would. And ultimately, I had to file bankruptcy. That next year, my relationship ended after 20 years. Everything was happening in 2008, 2010 to many people. I'm certainly not exempt from that. But all of that was so devastating that it took me years to recover, quite honestly. And that's the truth. And none of this is easy. We all go through our highs and lows and our trials and tribulations. But thank God I had amazing support from my friends and clients. And Jackie and I became extremely close during that time. And that's really then when we really bonded, because we understood each other's businesses and we understood the challenges. And we do different things, but there are a lot of commonalities. And those are the things that get us through. And belief in ourselves. So anyway, Jackie's next. And here we are.
Well, and I think when people look at us, they think, oh, she has the perfect life. And no one has the perfect life. No one has the perfect life. I mean, we all have down days. Before this pandemic hit, I was quite frankly getting bored with my business. Very bored. When you do this for 24, 25 years, the same thing day in and day out, you get bored. So you have to, it took a pandemic to light the fire and put it underneath me to start the projects that I've always needed and wanted to start. But I also took time for myself. I spent a lot of time with my family, and I spent a lot of time with Susan. I made multiple trips to Palm Beach to be with her because I live alone. And with my 2 dogs, and it can be very lonely when you live alone. And the gyms were not open then, the restaurants were not open, everybody was staying indoors, and it can affect your mental health if you don't reach out to friends and family. And so that's exactly what I did. So on those down days when I'm feeling sad or depressed or lonely, that's when I pick up the phone and I would call a friend, at least one friend every single day. I was out on my morning walk, and Susan knows this. I would call her regularly and about the same time every morning. But I would call a different friend, a new friend, oftentimes who I hadn't spoken to in a long time, and just kept that line of connection open, because I think when you isolate yourself, that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah. Maybe do we have a little bit of time? I mean, for me, it's I was thrown out of a job at the age of 48. At that time, it's like, it's devastating, and you're at that age, midlife crisis set in. Who is going to hire me? So I have a very low self-esteem. But then, of course, something made me took up an image consulting course, and after the certification, what's next? Because I have spent all my money, in a certification course. What is left for me? So when you are in a financial a breakdown, so to speak, I've been all alone myself. So, I mean, living alone, it doesn't matter, but it might be the financial a crisis that really seep into me. And I was sick every 2 weeks, non-stop. And at the end, Within a couple of months, I had to be admitted to the hospital for pneumonia. Therefore, now with the pandemic, I know how drastic it is if you have chest pains and you couldn't breathe. So that was because it's a big word, fear. It's a big word, fear. It's because your self-esteem is low. You do not know who to go to because I have been working 20 over years in my life and I'm married to my job, right? I was with Chanel, I was with Sisley, and to me, it's when your boss says you do a very good job, you're very happy. You practically have no friends, you know? Your job is your friend, your job is your family. And once you lost everything, you don't know who to call, yeah, right? So I took a very, I did have one or two good friends who actually helped me out with some jobs. Yeah. So at the end of the day, I took a step by step, a little bit more and more to become who I am today. So I tell people, do not be fear. The minute you are fear, you know, everything comes to you and you're not going to get better, right? Be with people whom you feel that they can encourage you. Yeah. That, of course, in return, it's like, what kind of relationship you have built, like I said, you know. So talk to people. And a lot of people might give you a lot of encouragement. So we need friends, we need family, and never be fearful. Why? It's because even though I was out of the hospital, until today, my health was never as good as before. I used to be on the treadmill for 50 minutes, 50, non-stop. And now for 15 minutes, I'm panting. I couldn't even go more than that. So that is something that I felt it was because I was so fearful, and that affected my health, which might not be reversible. You know, as we grow wiser or more matured, we have to really take care of our life. Yeah. So have your friends, have passion in what you do, find something that interests you. I'm sure there's a lot of things out there that will interest you. Have a lot of friends, right? And keep looking at Jacqueline Whitmore, Susan Bigsby, or Josephine Louis, if we can give you some kind of encouragement. Now, T, my good facilitator, I just wonder if there's any questions from the viewers who would like us to answer to their questions. T, are there?
Okay.
Joe,
Hi.
before we do that, Joe, I want to compliment you. You have done so much in really a short amount of time. And every time I see your postings and your videos, and you are working nonstop, and you're doing way more than I'm doing. And I can't compliment you enough. You're really amazing. You're a little powerhouse.
Right.
Powerhouse.
I love to work. I always say, you know, like I did a 3-series video called Heels, wearing high heels. And all my friends are telling me, Josephine, are you sure you still can wear high heel? My answer to them is, look, as long as I can wear the heels right now, I better wear it. I do not know, one fine day I might not be able. And when I drive a car, any man who comes into my car and say, my gosh, you are driving a manual car. I've never seen a woman drives a manual car. I say, yes, I love traffic jam, okay? So that was it. We need to work. We need to work our muscles. We need to work, ourselves, because the more you work, I would believe the more you find new things. And when you find new things, we are not bored. You know, Jacqueline is 25 years. Susan is 35 years. I'm just a baby, coming to 12 year, one cycle in image consulting. I'm never bored because I want to do something new all the time. So, I mean, come on, nobody is happy all the time.
No.
When the bad days, the more we should, wake up and dressed up. A lot of people say dressed up, but we work from home, so I don't dress up. But I have a dog.
Mhm.
You know, everybody knows that I'm not just a dog lover, I'm also an independent dog rescuer. Every night I go out to feed at least about 10 to 12 dogs on the street. And I always promote people, please, take dogs home on the street because they need, they really need a home. It's just that, and their life is very short, right? Why don't we give the best to those who have very short life? So this is something that I'll do.
Very
So
sweet.
find passion. The minute you find passion in what you do, the
I
power.
think there's another P that I want to add to passion, and that's positivity. And if you sit in front of the television all day, you're going to ingest all the negativity of the news. I mean, we all know there are a lot of bad people out there and are doing bad things. So what I know that, but I don't need to be told that every single day. So I actually don't even turn on the news at all. At all.
Yes,
The
it's
only thing I
scary.
really watch is in the evening. I'll maybe watch a cooking show or a travel show in the evening. And so I try to surround myself with happy, positive people. And that's really important during challenging times.
It
Yes,
is. It
yes.
is.
And we love ourselves. We have to love ourselves. In order to love ourselves, we can give more love to people around us.
That's
Correct?
right. What goes around comes around.
Correct. Now, I do not wish to take too much time from you both ladies. You have so much to do. And I have to say, I'm so happy I could get you both on board. As Jacqueline has been interviewed by all the big TV stations, and like, today Josephine is going to interview her. It's okay. Let's try. It's all right. You don't ask, you won't know, right? And of course, Jacqueline is someone that I know. She will be so glad and happy to share her experiences with anybody out there. And to Susan, this is really the first time I'm meeting you face to face. I do hope one day when we look back in awe, or we look forward to the day that we can visit Malaysia, or I can visit again US, we definitely must meet over tea.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So
It's a
tea
pleasure.
is, I just wonder if anybody wants the guest here, Jacqueline or Susan, to answer any of their questions. Are there any questions? I think they're just swooned to you two ladies. All right. I'm so glad I have you two tonight.
Thank
And
you.
for the rest of the people, I did not really look into my phone. I have to say thank you very, very much. Kap Kun Ka, thank you very much for joining us. And these two ladies, thank you very much for being my guest today. I'm sure from now we can, we still talk to each other.
Definitely.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Is there something Susan or Jacqueline would like to tell the viewers before we bid good night? Because Malaysia is getting very late now.
Yes, it is. Well, it's just to be positive, as everything we've just said is just we'll endure this. I think it's been personally, actually, Jackie and I both think this has been a very lucrative time. And we've been able to grow and think ahead for the next parts of our lives and careers that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise because there wasn't the time. And I think this has been a gift in a lot of ways. For many, it's been devastating, but for many, it's been a very, very positive time. So with everything good comes bad, with everything bad comes good. So it's finding that balance in our lives and having a lot of faith. So
Mhm.
Yes,
Jacqueline?
and to echo what Susan said, I think faith is a really important part of this. I was interviewing someone on my Facebook Live just a few days ago, and I said, "What has gotten you through this?" And she said, "It's really my faith." So whether you believe in a higher power or whatever, you have to remain positive, and again, surround yourself with happy, positive people. Never stop learning.
Mhm.
Learners are earners. And my third point is keep an open mind. Minds are like parachutes. They only function when they're open.
Yes, definitely. Wow, I think tonight our target was just 30 minutes to 40 minutes. We almost went to 1 hour. It's because there's so much for us to learn from you two ladies. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I'm so lucky to have you two with me. And for all my friends and the viewers who are watching, three of us, you might not have the time tonight because it's Saturday night, yeah? But please come back to the video that will be recorded and play your review, yeah? And please share our video if you feel that both Jacqueline, Susan, and myself have given you just 1 cent of advice, that's good enough already. So thank you very much, ladies. We'll see you another time. And good night to everybody. For those in the morning, have a wonderful weekend ahead. Right.
Thank you, Joe, for
Thank
having
you,
us.
Joe.
It was lovely.
And thank you,
Bye-bye.
team.
Good night.
Good night
Good
and
night.
good day. All right. Thank you. Okay, we're going to. How do I